welcome back to our summer What's Up London. Now, in this episode, it's 30 degrees today, which is pretty rare for London. You do not want to be spending that on a bus, and you certainly don't want to be spending that on a tube. The best thing to do when the weather's this hot is get out and explore some of London's best parks and naturally find a good beer garden. Here we are at the star attraction of Regent's Park, the Rose Garden. Now, if lying around isn't your thing, then there's plenty to go and explore. Now, Regent's Park has got lots to offer. There's an open air theatre where in the summer you'll find open air plays, including some of Shakespeare's works. But as with all parks, and most importantly, there's some green space, there's a picture towel, take a packed lunch and relax. Now, just a few streets to the west of Regent's Park is a great little pub called the Edinburgh Castle. Now, this place has got a really great beer garden and do specialty lagers, have outdoor picnic areas. In the evening, they've got really nice twinkly fairy lights. And they also do, in the summer on certain days, the traditional British hog roast. As we're stopping for a bite to eat at the Edinburgh Castle Garden Pub, it's worth pointing out this little puppy, Pimm's. Now, Pimm's is a traditional summertime British drink, quite synonymous with Wimbledon, Ascot and horse racing. If you've never heard of it, order one and find out what it's all about. Watto, Pimm's o'clock. Now, Hampstead Heath is certainly not a manicured park or garden like Hyde Park or Regent's Park. But you certainly get the feel that you're in the wilderness. The woods and the wild meadows give you the sense that you're really away from it, and you could be anywhere in Britain. Hampstead Heath is so big that even though I'm right in the middle of a city with 8.3 million people, I still feel like I'm a million miles away. Now, this is the Old Spaniards on Hampstead Heath. Now, we've been to the Ye Old Mitre, or the Old Mitre as it's translated in Old English, but this is also one of the oldest bars in London. It dates back to the 1500s. So the Spaniards has also been immortalised over the years in literature, and it's also had some pretty historic visitors, including John Keats and Charles Dickens himself, who, of course, at Clink we're a fan of. They have plenty of craft beers on tap, including London Pride, but they're also the traditional pub favourites with a bit of a gourmet twist. Everything, though, is still on a backpacker's budget. Now, this is Highbury Fields. In the middle of a residential district, it's the largest park in Islington, and it's one of the closest to Clink. The area's been recently regenerated. There's some tennis courts, and there's also a swimming pool, which is, on a day like this, a must. Now, just north of Clink is Angel, and Angel's a great place to go out and grab a few drinks. Now, a good place to start is the Castle Pub. Now, the Castle Pub doesn't really have a beer garden per se, but it does have a roof terrace. This is Hackney Downs. It's a very chilled out park that doesn't get completely mobbed like other parks in London, or its neighbour London Fields, which is generally full of our friends the hipsters. Now, it's one of Hackney's major green spaces, formerly opened to the public in 1884. Now, the Russet is on our list of beer garden pubs, but to be honest, it's not strictly a pub. It's kind of more a cafe, art space that kind of serves you a bit of drink and a bit of everything. Okay, so we stopped in at the Russet for some light refreshment, got to the counter and ordered some mint water because 3 parks down at 30 degrees and I think the film crew and me, we need some light refreshment. I then saw a sign for Evie's homemade cakes and I've got 3 of them. Not for gluttony, but just obviously to show you how good they are. So we've got a lemon suede cake, we've got a lemon raffaello cake, and we've also got a chocolate and rum biscuit cake, which obviously I'm going to be sharing with the film crew. Victoria Park. Now, Victoria Park is one of London's most historic and oldest parks and is visited by millions of Londoners over 170 years. Now, it's not your quietest park with 12 million visitors a year, but it certainly has a different feel to the other parks because it's much more sports orientated. We've got joggers, we've got people practicing rugby, football, cricket going on, and lots of other activities, cycling, etc. So it seems to be somewhere that if you're looking for that vibe and that atmosphere, this is the park for you. Our last great pub with a beer garden is the People's Park Tavern, just next door to the Victoria Park. It's a traditional old pub with hearty servings and traditional pub food and a range of its own brewed proper pints. It was inspired by the park itself and was created for the ordinary people of the East End. Expect great beer, hearty roasts, DJs on weekends, and a fun and super cool Hacienda Garden, voted one of the best in London by many publications. Well, that's it for this episode of What's Up. Hope you've enjoyed watching. You can get all of the addresses to all the bars we've been to at the end of this episode, but you can also visit clintcostles.com and look at our Inside Out City Guide. Until next episode, take it easy.